The source says doctors expect the procedure to be more of a cleanup, so it generally favors a speedy recovery. Meanwhile, backup Landry Jones is expected to start next Sunday against the Patriots, so Pittsburgh falls to 4-2 this season. Mayor Hodge in the house, good day.
How are you?
What's on your mind, man? What's on your mind?
Before we get to black and gold, because I know you do, both of you hit the tree and missed the target.
Call him out.
With the Kaepernick 49ers.
This is devastating for me. I love Merrill Hodge. This is devastating for me. Go ahead.
Missed the target.
That's why I'm going to try to be gentle with this. So you guys are talking about the 49ers as a whole. Let's say, I'll use an analogy of a car, okay? You guys keep trying to rotate the driver out of there to fix the car when it's the motor. That system that they're running in San Francisco is never going to win in the National Football League. I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game yesterday.
Chip Kelly.
And I cannot. So that's the problem. I don't care what quarterback goes in there. And Kaepernick, you know why Kaepernick was eventually become the starter? One is a major reason they eventually turned it over to him.
They were
One
losing.
reason, not just losing. They would dial up big plays and he would miss them. So they're like, Kaepernick, we're going to give you that opportunity. First dial-up post they get, he overthrows him by 6 yards. Now, people go, well, he hit that one, that ended up being a touchdown. That was a bust, and he almost couldn't catch that because he
back to get it. Yep.
He didn't improve in that area. He did not add one thing to this offense.
First game back against the Bills' defense
At the
on the
end of
road.
the day, listen, it isn't about, he's played a lot of football. When you miss a post route and you got a defender trailing you by 2 yards and you don't hit that for a touchdown, and it's the first time we call it and we get it, that is exactly why we let you start. It wasn't his ability to run. So until this system will never win in football.
In the NFL. So in other words, you're telling me that Chip Kelly belongs in college?
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
You can just start Chip
We
Kelly
agree there.
in the gym.
There's no disagreement. There's no disagreement. Now, I was worried about you for a second. I was worried about you for a second.
I missed the tree, hit the target.
We're good. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Fire away.
Are the Steelers overrated?
No. No. Listen, Ben is one of those amazing equalizers that elevate. He's like a John Elway. You know, you look at a lot of Super Bowls John Elway went to, and the ones they probably lost are the ones I'm referring to, where he took a team to the Super Bowl based on how he could offset the deficiencies. He is the one rare cat that does that at a high level. When you lose him, and the way he's playing now, which is, I think, very misunderstood. I think everybody thinks Big Ben moving around, making plays. Ben hasn't done that for 3 years. Ben has been beating people with his mind and his arms, which gives him a real good chance of coming back from this injury a lot quicker than normal. You know, if this is 5 years ago, I'd be like, boy, he's going to have to be completely healthy before he returns. Well, now because he doesn't have to cut, move, and do all the things he used to, he could get back on the field a lot quicker. But when he's on the field, he'll be able to. He makes them a legitimate contender. Without him, this is a very sub-average team right now.
Let me say this. We know I love my Steelers. And I had them going to the AFC Championship game against New England. When I watched them give up 204 yards rushing, the Steelers, it's bad enough I can't stand the secondary, which I complain about religiously. It's bad enough I can't do that. But for a rookie, in J.I., 204 yards rushing, I don't know how to feel right now. I'm not going to jump completely off the wagon, but I'm worried about them. And I'm worried about something else, too. I think about the Steelers, and I was looking for an article because I wanted to make sure I had my facts straight here. Marquise Pouncey, one of the highest paid centers in the game, paid in 2014. David DeCastro just became like the second highest paid guard. You got Marcus Gilbert you're taking care of. They've invested some money in this offensive line. How in God's name is Le'Veon Bell your definition of the best running back in football, the best all-around running back in football? Easy. Le'Veon Bell, 10 running plays for him, 10, that's it? And 16 touches? No, something's wrong here. Something's wrong. So, I'm just saying, second year, I apologize, running back, second year play, he's not a rookie. Jai, he's second year, he's not a rookie, I apologize. What I'm saying to you is this. How does that happen? You giving up 200 yards rushing while you're not running the football. With Le'Veon Bell and D'Angelo Williams. I got a problem with that. That's what got me worried about the Steelers.
Steelers are overrated, and I'm not saying they're not good. They're clearly good on offense. But what's going on with the Steelers right now, and by the way, you're a Steelers fan. The same reason as far as AFC teams go, I'm a Steelers fan, because when we're little kids, they won the Super Bowl every year. So the Cowboys were the team you rooted for if you were a front-runner type fan, and the Steelers were the correct out-of-market choice, and still I got some love for them. But this is called wish casting. Fans do it a lot. Organizations do it too sometimes. I wouldn't trade that prospect for the best player in the game. Why? Because it's your prospect and you wish that he becomes this great thing. The Steelers were all wish casting when we watch them. We saw what the offensive line could be last year. Oh my God, Le'Veon Bell. And you're talking about Antonio Brown with Martavis Bryant. Ben Roethlisberger, who's evolved from a great football player early in his career to a great quarterback later in his career. This could be the greatest offense we've ever seen. If only the defense could bend but not break, we can see something special. But that passed already. The offensive line's not quite what it used to be. The defense can't defend the pass. Forget about the run. They can't defend the pass. They're near the bottom of the league in all that. Martavis Bryant can't play this season. So we're wishing that they could put it all together because we just want to see it. It would just be amazing to see. But they haven't been able to do it, and as a result, I don't think you could put them ahead of, clearly, of the Patriots or of the defending Super Bowl champion Broncos. That makes them, at best, third in the AFC, but a lot of people, like Stephen A., pick them #1 to start the season. That's overrated.
Well, I picked him #1, too, to represent the AFC. And, listen, I'm still saying when Seven's back, he offsets a lot of those deficiencies. To your point, listen, everybody can have a hiccup. When they went to Philadelphia, you watch that game, I'm telling you, we'll focus on the defense for a second. The defensive line got mauled. Their linebackers were standing in quicksand. You're like, man, what made the Steelers great, actually, when they had the great defenses, two things. Their ends were anchors. You couldn't move. Footers. You could not move them. And their linebackers, this was talked about.
Lambert,
every defensive
Ham.
quarter. No, I'm just talking,
Recent
5, 6, 8 years when they won the Super Bowl. I mean, they were the most violent linebackers at the line of scrimmage, attacking it. Miami game, Jay Ajayi, last run of the game, defensive line slants, which is what you're doing when you're in desperate hope. You're trying to stop the run. You slant your line. You scrape your linebackers. The linebackers don't do it. They just stand there. Now, the only reason I point that out is because, okay, that is mental errors. So you can coach and correct and change mental errors and become a better football player, better team. If you're just getting absolutely mauled and you're just not as good, because you go to the Kansas City game, then the Jet game, they played like that. There was a relentless, violent attack. And then all of a sudden in Miami, they looked just like they did against Philadelphia. So what I'm getting at is, like, the things that they're making mistakes on are mental errors that can be changed. You can correct them. I'll use the Giants. When the Giants lost the Patriots on the last game of the year, and they went undefeated. Then they beat them in the Super Bowl. It was mental errors that the Giants lost that first game in that they changed in the Super Bowl, and a couple matchups that made the difference in that game. So I can see how things can evolve and change when Seven comes back. They are one of the best teams in football.
But listen, I had them #2, not #1, because remember, you picked Seattle. And I had New England going to the Super Bowl against Carolina. Lord have mercy. Okay, so that's the deal. Steelers were #2. I thought the Steelers would meet them in the AFC Championship game. I still think there's a chance because I think their offense can be that high-powered. But this is the thing. When you have a suspect defense, whether it's in your linebacking core or your secondary, you offset that to some degree. How? Ball control. Offensively, running the football. And the fact that they're getting away from that, which is pretty much their identity, because even though they can throw the football, and we know that Big Ben likes to put it up there and likes to go deep, when you got Le'Veon Bell and when a guy like D'Angelo Williams has proven how reliable he is and what he can bring to the table, because he really could be a starting running back in this league if he was playing most other places. When you look at it from that perspective, there is simply no excuse not to give the ball more to your running backs. No excuse for that. And not only that, it'll limit the chances Big Ben takes, because over the last couple of years, Merrill, when he takes chances, sometimes it's not working out for him.
But Le'Veon Bell's value is not just running the ball. It's like you can line him up everywhere,
that's why I said get it to them.
outside.
Get it to them. Get it to them.
Got to get Le'Veon Bell the ball.
No, if there's any doubt, that's how they'll have to lean in order to have a shot against the Patriots, without a doubt. Have to.
Because there's going to be maybe no #7, but there will be a #12. And Tommy Brady. Merrill Hodge, thank you for breaking it down for us.
By the way, that damn Landry Jones. Could you do something, Landry Jones? Please. I mean,
when Stephen A. calls people up, they do step their game up.
Listen, Landry Jones, could you do something? Oh, my God. You got Antonio Brown, you got Coates, you got everything. You got Le'Veon, you got an offensive line, you got D'Angelo. I mean, it's you, Landry Jones. Could you step up and act like you got a job? Please.
Coates. Had him in daily
Pretty please. Oh, my Lord. I can't take it. I'm just saying. He depresses me.
We asked you,
really
which reaction from Sunday did you have the biggest problem with Cam, Odell, or Sherman? Those results after the break. Stay here. Very well done.
No applause. No. They got to earn their stripes. By the way,
what?
We gotta I need to see some of the ladies out there in these videos.
Yes.
Remember, we're gonna have a male and a female winner. So I need to see some ladies up in there as well.
We know we've got viewers.
Right.
We want to see from them. I'm with you.
Listen.
Thank you for calling that out. Meanwhile, Richard Sherman's outburst on the sideline, Odell Beckham's penalty for taking his helmet off, and Cam Newton's Super Bowl-esque press conference. We asked you guys to vote on Twitter. Which one did you have the biggest problem with? And the results are in. Cam, 41%, Sherm, 34%, OBJ, 25%. Do you agree, Stephen A?
Of course I don't. I mean, they're obviously agreeing with Max, and, you know, our viewers are, some of our viewers are entitled to be ignorant from time to time, and this is one of those situations. They're wrong. I mean, the fact of the matter is that I don't really have much of a problem with what happened with Cam yesterday. Not yesterday. I just don't.
Well, they're wrong, but not because of that. I did have a problem with what Cam did and what Odell did, because he actually cost field. That's a stupid rule in the NFL that a celebration or whatever can cost you field position. It's a really stupid rule. Nevertheless, it is one. Everyone knows it, and Odell broke it and could have cost his team. Sherman outburst ahead of Odell's. Sherman is upset because of miscommunication and trying to get things together. Odell takes off his helmet and gets the team penalized in a close game that they could have lost. I think Odell's was worse than Sherman.
I just look at Cam, and I think that Cam is bringing attention to the Carolina Panthers and their ineptitude in the offseason. They were feeling themselves with the reigning NFC champions. We can afford to be a bit laissez-faire and a bit arrogant in that regard, and I think that Cam Newton is frustrated having to eat up all the attention that comes his way
with the territory.
Because of it. Well,
He's the face of the franchise. He was very nearly and may still be the face of the entire league, the face of the NFL. And when the people want to see when the going gets back and you take the heat, can you absorb it and not deflect it?
I can respect that, and in theory, you're absolutely not wrong. But I don't believe that because you're paid, it gives organizations the license to lean on you and cover themselves. That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
I don't believe that management for the Carolina Panthers, and to a lesser degree, Ron Rivera, should get to hide behind the spotlight being on Cam Newton when that offense is not the problem. Excuse me.
Two different things.
But let me say this to you.
Two different things.
Cam Newton's a leader, no doubt. Is Kuechly a leader?
Yep.
What's wrong with that defense? Because the offense is the problem with the team.
But
Thomas Davis, I love Thomas Davis. He's big time. And him and Kuechly are playing, by the way. But shouldn't they be made to answer for their defense?
Everyone knows the quarterback is the biggest star on the team. They're the one who's going to have to talk. They're the one who's going to have to say how great everyone else is when it's good and how bad they are when it's bad, whether it's true or not. This is the way it's always been done, and it seems to work for the great ones. And if Cam wants to do it another way, fine. But then you got to do it while you're winning. This can't come out just in bad times. This has to come out in good times, too. This is only coming out in bad times.
Well, it's going to come out in bad times in terms of the organization leaving you hanging. When you know that the organization did what it's supposed to do and it's on you, then you have a valid point. But when you have to sit there and answer questions that are above your pay grade, when you have to sit up there and talk for a team that literally leaves you hanging because they don't sit up there and keep a Super Bowl championship contender intact, I think, and listen, I don't find anything extreme about what he did yesterday. That's the key that I'm saying here.
If the blogs all came to you and said, Stephen A., what's it feel like to get whooped up on by Max all day, every day? Would you just not answer? No comment? Would you storm off?
I absolutely.
Or would you take it?
I absolutely would, because I would have nothing to say. I would literally look at them and say, what the hell are you talking about? That's never happened. That's a very ignorant question on your part to sit there and think that I lose to Max Kellerman when I wax his behind every single day.
That's a diluted answer, but it's an answer.
I would sit up there and say that.
You wouldn't just storm off and pout.
Oh, no. I wouldn't pout, but I would storm off. Oh, let me tell you something right now. Ask people who run into me. They come up to me at the game. You got to come up to me with the right tone. You better not be disrespectful. And depending on your question, if it's a stupid question, I have walked by people.
That's a highly intelligent question.
I have walked by people and have completely ignored them. Ask them. Ask them. That's why people are very reluctant to approach me, because they know I might ignore you or I might cuss you out. Pick your choice. Pick your choice. I don't care. I really.
If ESPN set up a press conference to address the media,
I'd be like,
and they were asking you when you said next question, no, you wouldn't.
No, it depends on the question. If somebody asks me a dumb question,
how do you lose every debate to Max every day?
Yolanda Genovese, my grandmother, happy 90th birthday. I love you so much.
Happy birthday.
See you guys tomorrow.